know the meaning of what is data and what do you mean by data, and data may be of two types. One is called primary data and the second one is called secondary data. And there are two methods are used to collect information. One is called your census method or complete enumeration method, and another method is called sampling method through samples. ଏଗୁଡାକ ଜାଣିଛ?
No, sir.
ଜାଣିନ?
No, sir.
ନାସିଦ୍ ଯୋଉ ପରୀକ୍ଷା ଜଏନ୍ କଲ, ହ୍ୟାଲୋ 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 ରୀତାଞ୍ଜଳି, ଆଉ ଜଣେ କିଏ ଜଏନ୍ କରିଛି?
ଆଜ୍ଞା sir, Nasid.
କାହିଁ ସେ ତ କିଛି କହୁନି। So anyway,
Yes, sir.
we'll start discussing. रे ତମେ ସବୁ ଯାହା ପଚାରୁଛି ବେସିକ ନଲେଜ ଅଛି ନା ନାହିଁ? ପ୍ରାଇମେରୀ ଡେଟା, ସେକେଣ୍ଡାରୀ ଡେଟା, ସେନ୍ସସ୍ ମେଥଡ, ସାମ୍ପଲିଂ ମେଥଡ ଏଗୁଡା ଜାଣିଛ ନା? ଜାଣିଛ ତ? Hello? Investigation job. I hope let us focus on this. Let us talk about what is the meaning of research. So if somebody will ask you what is the meaning of research, how can you define? Not in a, I'm exactly asking the proper definition of research. Rather, funny, what do you mean by research? What is your view on the topic research? Ritanjali, what is your view on research?
Sir, research द्वारा ଆମେ डेवलपमेंट विषय କିଛି ଅଧିକା ଜାଣି ପାରୁ, ଆଉ କେମିତି ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ ହବ ସେ ବିଷୟରେ ବି
correct
ଇନଭେନ୍ସନ ବି କରିପାରୁ।
Then any idea about research, Nasid? Hello.
Again, sir.
I'm not asking any definition actually. I'm asking if you have any idea about the term research.
Sir, କୌଣସି ବିଷୟରେ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ କଲେ ଆମେ ତା ବିଷୟରେ ଅଧିକରୁ ଅଧିକ ଜାଣିପାରିବା।
ଅଧିକରୁ ଅଧିକ ଜାଣିପାରିବା, exactly. In common parlance or the common man's definition is a source for knowledge, research.
Again.
So search for knowledge. But actually, research is actually a scientific study, or it is a systematic way of discovering new facts, new ideas, finding some relationship among the variables, or to find some sequences. In any topic in economics, we can say that various things we can say. We can study. There are in economics we have two types of research. One is called theoretical research. Other one is called policy research actually. And in policy research, you will have some policies and its effectiveness will be studied. Suppose I will say that there is a scheme that is called midday meal scheme. What is the effectiveness? Whether this midday meal scheme, what is the aim of this scheme? Aim of the scheme is to reduce the dropouts, school dropouts.
Yes, sir.
Students are leaving the school before completing their examination. Final. Suppose you will talk of the UP school, upper primary school. The highest class or the last class is your fifth class is the highest class. Before completing that fifth class, students are leaving the school. This is dropout case. And we need to attract the students to the school and to reduce the dropouts. Midday meal scheme have been going on, have been implemented, and is now also going on. My point is that we can have an assessment of this policy. We can have a research on this policy, whether this scheme is effective or not, or it has been effective to reduce the enrollment dropouts in the schools or not. We will take a sample and we'll apply the techniques and we'll draw a conclusion about what we have drawn the sample accordingly. So this is a type of research which is known as a policy research. There is another type of research in economics which is known as theoretical research. That means we can say that suppose we can have some improvement in existing laws. Suppose in a seminar, suppose he was participating he was a professor of a university, and he was saying that we know that the law of demand, in case of law of demand, there is an indirect direct relationship between the price of a commodity and its quantity supply, other things remaining unchanged. ସମସ୍ତେ ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ?
ଆଜ୍ଞା sir.
Yes, sir.
So there is a direct relationship, but the law states that other things remaining unchanged, there is a direct relationship between price of a commodity and its quantity demanded.
ଆଜ୍ଞା.
But if we'll take this law to the real life situation, suppose he was what the professor was saying. I was attending that seminar, and he was saying that suppose what the law says, that means the seller, the supplier who is supplying the product, he will be interested to supply more at a higher price and less at a lower price.
Yes.
But in reality, suppose he was taking the example of a banana market. Suppose you will go to purchase banana, you will say that 1 dozen is equal to suppose 30 rupees. And if you will purchase more, then I will provide you at a lower price. That means if 1 dozen is equal to 30 rupees, then suppose I will take 3 dozen. That means it will be 90 rupees. Or 4 dozen, it will be 120 rupees. He'll say that I'll provide you 4 dozen 100 rupees. That means more the quantity, more quantities are being offered at a lower price. ବୁଝୁଛ ନା ନାହିଁ? ଗୀତାଞ୍ଜଳି ବୁଝି ହଉଛି?
Aଜ୍ଞା, sir.
So it is obviously law of demand is not it cannot be in realistic sense. People say that law of demand is not operating here. Or the law of demand, what it says is something different from our day-to-day life. What I can't contradict the law actually, but what the professor was saying, I am just quoting what he delivered his speech in the last in a seminar, in which I was a participant. So that is why I am telling you, it is a policy research. My point is that it is a policy research. We can have modifications, we can have alteration in the policy or the law it is operating. The theoretical research, we can have an alteration of the existing laws. We can modify the existing laws. We can have a real life touch to the existing law. So this is called policy research. My point here is that we have to know what is the meaning of research. Yes. Then I will discuss what is research methodology. What is the research methodology? Research, there are different methods. In actually, in a strict sense, there are 3 methods. That means it, in other words, we can say that a research methodology consists of 3 important concepts or 3 important parts. One is called a theoretical aspect of research, or in other words, we can say a logical inquiry.
Yes.
Other one is the tools or techniques which are used in data collection, and methods which are used in data analysis. So, one is some theoretical aspect or some logical aspect of collecting the information. Other one is the tools, the techniques of data collection, and third one is the methodology or the methods which are used in analyzing data. ମୁଁ କହିଦେବି, ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ନେଇକି ତମକୁ କହିଦେବି ଯେ what is research and how can it be carried out. Suppose in your ତମେ ଯଦି ଗ୍ରାଜୁଏସନ ଯଦି କରିଥିବ ବି ତମେ ଗୋଟେ ପେପରଟେ ପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟ କରିଥିବ, ଗୋଟେ ସେମିନାର ପେପର ହଉ ବା ତମକୁ ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟ ପେପର ବି ସବମିଟ କରିବାକୁ ପଡେ। ଏବେ ତ ତମେ ପିଜି ପାସ୍ କରିଥିବ, ଯଦି କରିଥିବ ସବ ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟ ପେପର ଗୋଟେ ସବମିଟ କରିଥିବ।
No, sir.
ନଥିଲା ନା?
No.
ହଉ, ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ମୁଁ ଯୋଉ କହିଲି ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ଟେକ୍ନିକ ଯୋଉଟା ମୁଁ ପ୍ରଥମଟା କହିଲି ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ଟେକ୍ନିକ, ପ୍ରଥମଟା କହିଲି ଯେ ଗୋଟେ ଲଜିକ ଅଫ ଏନକ୍ୱାରି, ତାପରଟା ମୁଁ କହିଲି ଯୋଉ ଟେକ୍ନିକ୍ସ, ତାପରେ ଯଦି ମୁଁ କହିଲି ଟୁଲ୍ସ ବା ତମର ଯୋଉ ମେଥଡୋଲୋଜି ଯୋଉଟା,
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ନୁହେଁ କି?
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଆଚ୍ଛା, ଏ ଯୋଉ ମୁଁ ତମକୁ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ଟେକ୍ନିକ ଯୋଉଟା କହୁଛି, what is the technique? There are different techniques of data collection. ମୁଁ ଏଇଠି ତମକୁ କହିପାରିବି, suppose I will say whether there will be a census inquiry or there will be a sample inquiry. Suppose we are dealing with quantitative data. Data can be of two types, quantitative also qualitative. Quantitative figures ମାନେ ଯୋଉଟାକୁ ଆମେ ନ୍ୟୁମେରାଲ୍ସ ରେ ଆମେ କଲେକ୍ସନ କରୁ, ଯୋଉଟା ସଂଖ୍ୟାରେ ଆମେ କଲେକ୍ସନ କରୁ। କିନ୍ତୁ ଯୋଉଟାକୁ କ୍ୱାଲିଟେଟିଭ, ଯୋଉଟାକୁ କ୍ୱାଲିଟି ଅଫ ଏ ପର୍ସନ, ବ୍ୟୁଟି ଅଫ ଏ ଗର୍ଲ, or the personality, the popularity of a leader. So these are the qualitative aspects of the qualitative informations, and these informations cannot be collected in the same way as that of the quantitative information. So there are different ways of collecting these information. So let us first talk about what is census method and what is sampling method. এটা জানিছো তো census method and sampling method?
No, sir.
Census method is otherwise known as complete enumeration method. ମୁଁ ତମକୁ ଗୋଟେ basic idea ଦଉଛି, ଆଗ ଦେଖ। Suppose I am interested to collect some information. Suppose I can say that to collect, suppose I am interested to know about the quality of a mustard oil, suppose the purity of a mustard oil available within the Balesar municipality. You can talk of the pegged mustard oil, those which are available in packets, in bottles. जोड़ाक लूज रे अवेलेबल होची, मु सेगुडाक टेस्ट करि परिबिनी, बिकॉज़ देयर इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ एडल्टरेशन। ओपनली किए रहउची कि हम पाप के देबो कोन करियो, ताको मु रिसर्च करि जानि परिबिनी। So suppose I would say that suppose Balasore district will be my the area of study. So Balasore district भितरे, within Balasore district जो mustard oil रो bottles आउ तार जो pouch available होची, all these will constitute my population. Population in statistics, actually population does not imply the population what is used, the term used in Indian economics. In Indian economy, or in so to say, you can talk of any other economics paper, there is a term population. Population means जोटा कि हमें कुछ जनसंख्या जोटा हमें कुछ, but the same population is not used in statistics. The sense is different in statistics. In statistics, population implies the number of objects. It may be animate or inanimate under a particular study. Number of objects which comes under the purview of a study is known as population. जो objects गुड़ा हमें study करिवु, हमर परिधि भितरे, हमर परिसर भितरे जो objects गुड़ा आसुची, हम कहली जो bottles आसुची, mustard oil bottle आसुची, बा तार जो पाउच आसुची, से गुड़ा सब मोर population पाजिबो। बुझल कि से जो population हला, से population रू मु I may go for sample study or I may go for census study. मुझे दी sample study को जीवी, sorry, मु प्रथम दी census method को जीवी। Census method, I have to collect information from each and every unit of the population. तामने बालेश्वर district रे available होथुआ समस्त mustard oil pouch और bottles, बा आउ जो तार जो पैकिंग है कि जो बड़ बड़ कैन रे जोड़ा आसुची, से गुड़ा को सब गुड़ा को will come under my study, and I have to examine each and every one. You know, to know, or you know, to have a conclusion about the quality of mustard oils available in Balasore district. If I will have any say, यदि मु किसी कही परिबी, तले किम कहिबी, then I will have to study.
Yes.
So each and every, in census method what happens, in census method or complete enumeration method, information, data are collected from each and every element. It is called census. But in case of sampling, a representative part of the population is studied. That means data are collected from a representative part of the population, not of the whole, but of the part which must be representative. সেটাকে আমি কইবা it is a sample. So a representative part which is drawn from the population is known as a sample.
Yes.
Then again the sample so drawn, you can again use a sampling method, further sampling, or you may again go for complete enumeration or census method. For example, जो भात रंधा होଉଛି ଆମର ଭାତ ହେଲାଣି କି ନାହିଁ ତମେ କେମିତି ଜାଣୁଛ?
ତାକୁ ଚେକ୍ କରତେ ପଡୁଛି।
ଚେକ୍ କରିବାକୁ କେମିତି ଚେକ୍ କରିବାକୁ ପଡୁଛି? ଭାତ କଣ ସବୁ ଜାକ ଭାତକୁ ତମେ ଚେକ୍ କରୁଛ?
ଗୋଟେ ଭାତ ନେଇକି
ଗୋଟେ ଦିଟା ଭାତ ନଉଛ, ଗୋଟେ ଚାମଚରେ ଭାତ ନଉଛ ନୁହେଁ କି, ନେଇକି ତାକୁ ଚେକ୍ କରୁଛ। ଆଇଦର ଏଗେନ୍ ଦେଢ ଚାମଚରେ ସବୁ ଜାକ ତମେ ଚିପି ପାର, ବା ତମେ ପୁରା ଚାମଚରୁ ଗୋଟେ ଦିଟା ଟେଷ୍ଟ କରି କହିଦେଇ ପାର ଯେ ଭାତ ହେଲାଣି କି ନାହିଁ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
So ଆମେ ଯୋଉ କହୁଛେ ଭାତ ହେଲାଣି କି ନାହିଁ, that is the conclusion about the whole। ସେ ଭାତ ହାଣ୍ଡି ସାରା ବିଷୟରେ ତମେ କହୁଛ, that is the research result যেটা ତମେ କହିବ, ତମେ conclusion ସେଟା, ତମର finding ସେଟା ଯେ ଭାତ ହେଇଗଲାଣି
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
କି ଭାତ ହେଇନି। ତେଣୁ ତମେ ଯୋଉ ଥରେ ଯୋଉ ନଉଛ, ସେ ଯୋଉ ଡଙ୍କିଟେ ନଉଛ, ଚାମଚରେ ନଉଛ, then you are shuffling, ତମେ ତାକୁ shuffle କରୁଛ, ତାକୁ ଟିକେ ଡାଙ୍ଗେଇ ଦଉଛ, ଡାଙ୍ଗେଇ ଦେଇକି ତାକୁ ନଉଛ representative ତାକୁ ଆମେ it is a representative part, that is called sample।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍।
ଏବେ ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ନା ବୁଝିପାରୁନ?
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍।
ତ ଏଇଟା ହେଲା ସେନ୍ସସ୍ ମେଥଡ ଆଉ ସାମ୍ପଲିଂ ମେଥଡ, ଯୋଉଟା ଆମେ କହୁଛେ ୟୁଜୁଆଲି। There are also some the instruments which are used for data collection, and it includes a questionnaire or schedule। এটা ସବୁ ତମର ପଢା ହେଇଛି। questionnaire means a set of questions relating to a particular study। ଯୋଉ ଗୋଟେ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ ଷ୍ଟଡିରେ ଯୋଉ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ଗୋଟେ ତମ ଗୋଟେ ଫର୍ମ ଥିବ, ଫର୍ମ ଭଳିଆ ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରିଣ୍ଟ ଆଉଟ ବାହାର କରିଥିବ, ସେଥିରେ ଲେଖା ହେଇଥିବ ସବୁ ଲୋକ ପାଇଁ, ମନେକର ତମେ 50 ଲୋକଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ 50 ଲୋକଙ୍କଠୁ ଇନଫର୍ମେସନ କଲେକ୍ସନ କରିବ, ତେଣୁ 50ଟା ଫର୍ମ ତିଆରି କରିବ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ଫର୍ମରେ ତା ନାଁ ଗାଁ ସହିତ ତାର କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ଥିବ, ତା ପାଇଁ କଣ କଣ ତମେ ପଚାରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛ ରିଲେଟିଂ ଟୁ ଦ୍ୟାଟ ପର୍ଟିକୁଲାର ଷ୍ଟଡି। ବୁଝିପାରିଲ ତ? ତ ସେଗୁଡାକ ତାକୁ କୁହନ୍ତି ଟୁଲ୍ସ। ଆଚ୍ଛା, ତାପରେ ଆମେ ଯିବା ଏଠି ବହୁତ କଥା, ମାନେ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ବହି ଭିତରେ ତମର ଯାହା ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି, ଏଥିରେ ବହୁତ କଥା ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି, ତମେ ପଢିଥିବ, ଟିକେ ଜାଣିଥିବ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
କିଛି ପଢିଛ?
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍।
ଏଥିରେ ସେ ଫିଲୋସଫି ଯୋଡିଛି।
ହଁ।
ଫିଲୋସଫି ବୁଝଛ ତ ନା ବୁଝିନା?
ନାଇଁ ସାର୍।
ଫିଲୋସଫିରେ ସେ ଫିଲୋସଫିକୁ ଆଣିକି ତା ଭିତରେ ସେ କରେଇଛି। ସେ କଣ କହିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି, ସେ ବହୁତ କଥା ସେ କହିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି, ମାନେ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ କଣ, theoretical perspective se lekhichi relate to theories of knowledge which lies within the domain of philosophy of social science। The key concept associated with the perspective is the paradigm। Let us start paradigm kon, it is a comprehensive belief system, right? It is a world view or a framework that guides research and practice। ବହୁତ କଥା ସେ କହୁଛି, ମାନେ ଏଇଟାକୁ ତମେ ପୁରା ଗୋଟେ କଣ ତାକୁ ଆମେ କହିବା, ଗୋଟେ ବିଲିଫ ସିଷ୍ଟମ କହିବା। ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଏ କମ୍ପ୍ରେହେନ୍ସିଭ ବିଲିଫ ସିଷ୍ଟମ that guides research and practice। At the basic, the fundamental level philosophy of science that makes a number of assumptions about the fundamental issues relating to nature, characteristics of truth or reality, or the theory of knowledge dealing with how can we know the things that exist। Then another one is the theoretical framework that guides a research and practice। General methodological prescriptions including tools to be used for information, data collection, data analysis, these things you know। Then another thing is that in a particular paradigm, actually it varies from person to person, from author to author. So actually there are in social science and research work, there are four things are the four important what do we say uh, things or approaches you can say which are used in social sciences. One is called positivism and positivism. Second is your critical theory, and third one is your interpretivism and pragmatism. ଏଗୁଡ଼ା ସବୁ କିଛି କିଛି ଜାଣିଛ ନା ଜାଣିନ କିଛି?
No, sir.
ନାଇଁ ସାର୍।
ଆଚ୍ଛା ହଉ। ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ରେ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ଟାକୁ ଯଦି ଆମେ ଆହୁରି ଡିଟେଲ କୁ ଯାଇକି ବୁଝିବା, ଦେନ୍ ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ କୋଉଠୁ ଆସିଲା କ'ଣ ନାହିଁ, ନୁହେଁ କି? Then we have to deal with the reality. The paradigm কথা କହୁଛ, the peculiar feature of paradigm is that they differ on questions of reality. They offer different regions for doing research. They use different types of tools. These are very peculiar. That there is a different ways of deriving meaning from data. They deviate from the normal ways. They vary in the relationship between the research and practice. So what we will discuss here, we will discuss how what is research methodology and what are the issues and what are the issues before a research person or a researcher. So the first of all, the knowledge the first of all, the researcher must have the basic idea about what he is intended to do, what is his objective. So the first of all, a researcher has to find out the problem. My point is that he has to find out the problem.
Yes.
What is the problem, and why there is research? Why should I undertake any research activity? What is the reason of undertaking the research activity? Not that I am interested for research and I will carry out a research work. No, it is not the topic, or it is not the objective. The objective is you have to first decide the problem. You have to first point out the problem. This is the problem area. So once you decide, or you have to you find a problem area, then you have to develop the questions to investigate this problem area, to this problem. Then the researcher will try to find the answers of these questions. To find the answers, he may ask the respondents, the person, those who are related to those problems, they can give their answers. You can ask many people. You can ask one, two, many people. You can ask. Then you will have some information. Then you will have to go through the rigorous process, the tools. Then you have to analyze it. You have to present it in a proper way. Then you have to go for the analyzing then you will get some conclusion about what you are finding or what the people are saying. So in this way, a research work can be carried out. So first of all, we have to find the problem area. Then we have to prepare the questionnaire. Questionnaire actually questions relating to that particular problem area. questions will be prepared by the investigator, which will be because these questions will be asked by the investigator. Another term I can add here, that there is another term which is called schedule. Actually,
Yes.
questions or schedule. Schedule, that means if the questionnaire, if investigator himself will go to the field, directly will contact the respondents, will solicit their help and collect information directly, then and this is called a questionnaire. But if the same thing will be done by an enumerator. Enumerator is the person appointed by the investigator to collect information on behalf of the investigator. Enumerator is the person appointed by the investigator.
Yes.
Enumerator is the person appointed by the investigator to collect information on his or her behalf. So if the study area is very large, so investigator is not supposed to go each and every respondent and collect information physically by meeting them. It's not possible on his or her part. So in statistics, what happens, there is another option that he or she may go for an indirect way. That means he or she can appoint some people to collect information on his or her behalf. They are called enumerator, and enumerators, and they will bring with themselves the questionnaire, which is known as a schedule. So this method of collecting information is known as a schedule method of collecting information. So first of all, questionnaire will be prepared, and there are the reasons that while preparing the questionnaire, or the investigator has to ensure that the questions must be, whether it will be or should not be an open-ended question, close-ended question. Open-ended means implies that the answer will be very large. That means there is no specific answer to this question. That means it will be very lengthy question. Suppose if I will ask you, what are you doing? Then you can't say it in either yes or no or in one word. The
Yes.
possibility that you may answer this question in a very lengthy way. Pass will have a story. Each one will have a different story. What you people are doing. But if I will say that if I'll ask a question that what are you doing, whether you are employed or not, then you have to answer the question either yes or no.
Yes.
If you are employed, then if you are not employed, then are you preparing for this job or not? Yes or no. So the questions must be either alternative type, close-ended questions, very simple questions, and it should not hurt the sentiments of the people. The questions relating to private lives of the people, relating to their caste, relating to their religion, relating to their income, relating to their private life, it should not be asked. This type of questions should not be framed in a questionnaire. If you frame this type of question, it is a very important part of the investor. So what we are discussing here, how to collect primary data. Primary data to keep the collection karibi. I am not discussing anything about secondary data, because the difference between primary data, secondary data, with the difference count.
No, sir.
Nasid,
नहीं सर
what is the difference? किरे तमर सब पढ़ा है ना, ये जो स्टडी पेपर उडा आसुची, माने से पेपर जानुची जे तमे सब जिंस जानिछो. माने same data can be primary, can also be secondary. Data which is primary to one person is secondary to others. That means if Ritanjali will connect data for his purpose, suppose he's for her project work, and the same data will be used by Nasid,
okay
then same data will be secondary to Nasid, which was primary to Ritanjali.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand what is the meaning of primary and secondary?
Yes, sir.
yes sir
So primary means If that means one has collected information directly from the source by way of field studies, by means of field studies. And secondary means data have already been collected by somebody and we are using it because the data have already been collected by somebody else. And if anybody will use it, it will be known as secondary to us. ମୁଁ ଯଦି showroom ଗାଡି କିଣିଲି, it is primary to me. ସେ ଗାଡିକୁ ଯଦି ମୁଁ କିଣି ଆଣିଲି ଆଉ କିଏ କିଣି ନବ, ରାମ ମାଧବ ଯଦୁ ମଧୁ ଯିଏ କିଣିବ, it will be secondary, it is second hand କୁହାଯିବ ତାକୁ.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, ଯୋଉମାନେ ଡେଟା ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଟାଇମ କଲେକ୍ସନ କରନ୍ତି, ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଟାଇମ ମାନେ ଫ୍ରମ ଦ ସୋର୍ସ ରୁ ସେମାନେ ଯାଆନ୍ତି, ଇନଭେଷ୍ଟିଗେସନ କରନ୍ତି, କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନାର ନେଇକି ଯାଆନ୍ତି, ଇନଫର୍ମେସନ କଲେକ୍ସନ କରିକି ଆଣନ୍ତି. These informations, these numerical informations are called primary data. So primary data are collected for the first time by the investigator by means of field studies. ମାନେ field କୁ ଯିବେ ଯାଇକି collection କରିକି ନେଇକି ଆସିବେ. This is primary and secondary. So I'm discussing here about the primary data because we are discussing about questionnaire, how to meet the people, how to contact the people, how to collect information, how to prepare the questions. It should not have hurt the sentiments of the people. If you ask somebody about the private life of the person, obviously he or she will be reluctant to provide information. There may be conflict with ବିରକ୍ତି ହେବେ, ତମେ କିଏ, ତମେ କାହିଁ ଆସିଛ, ଦରକାର ପଡ଼ିଲେ ମୁଁ ଗୋଡ଼େଇବେ ନା ଲୋକ ବାଡ଼େଇବା ପାଇଁ, ମୋ ପ୍ରାଇଭେଟ ଲାଇଫ ବିଷୟରେ ପଚାରିବା ପାଇଁ ତମେ କିଏ?
Okay.
So whenever we are collecting information, we should be polite because people, those from whom we are collecting information, they do not know what is the importance of data collection and what this information will be helpful to them indirectly. Suppose we are collecting information regarding a policy, and government is, whenever government formulates policies, different policies, government actually sees that the research studies, research findings regarding the policies, whether to continue midday meal scheme or not. If research findings are suggesting that midday meal schemes are useful for the students, it is useful to develop their to nutritional deficiency in their body, to attract the students to the schools, and also to reduce the dropouts. Obviously, government will think that if this scheme is benefiting the students, then let's continue it. In some areas, the finding says that some areas, particularly in urban areas, in large cities, the students are the school children, they are not taking this midday meal because they are from better families and they do not want to take their meal from this community kitchen. Usually meals are prepared within the school or some by outside parties and is delivered at the school. So some parents are reluctant to provide this type of food to their children. They are well-off people. They do not need any this type of schemes or this type of benefits. They do not need. They are very much educated and they can send their children to the school. There is no doubt, and this scheme will have nothing to do with regarding their mindset. They are determined because they are educated. They know the meaning of the scheme and how the government is implementing the scheme or why the government is implementing scheme. So these policy findings will have a great impact on policy makers in framing policies, which will help in the economic development of the country. So whenever we are framing policies, we are reviewing policies, we take into account the research work done by various researchers, various economists, or various other people, those who are associated with this research work. So anyway, the questions should not be very, this is a part of questions regarding questionnaire. Then after the questionnaire, then there will be field studies. Then the investigator or the enumerator will go to the field, collect information. Then these are systematically collected, recorded. Collection of data implies that you have to ask the questions and systematically write it down in the proper format, which is called questionnaire. You have to write down the name, the age, the address, the parent, the name of father, Then and the other information what you will ask to the respondent. So these recorded informations are collected, then they are systematically presented. In statistics ଆମେ systematically present କରିବା ଜାଣିଛୁ କାହିଁକି ନା ଆମେ ଏଇ ସବୁ raw information ଗୁଡାକ ଏମିତି access ରେ କିଛି ଲାଭ ନାହିଁ ତ କିଛି ସେ କହିବନି raw information will not tell you anything about what this the problem is and what is the solution. You have to put it in a proper format. ତମେ ଯଦି ତାକୁ table ରେ present କରିବ ତମେ ଯଦି ତାକୁ ଗୋଟେ graph ରେ present କରିବ then it will tell you something. Suppose I will say the law of demand slopes downward, the demand curve slopes downward from left to right. That means if this graphical presentation shows that the graph, the demand curve or demand line, it slopes downward. It is a downward sloping curve.
Yes.
Indicate that ଯଦି price ବଢିଯିବ demand କମିଯାଉଛି price କମିଗଲେ demand ବଢିଯାଉଛି.
But
Curve ଟା downward sloping ହେଉଛି. Downward sloping implies indirect relationship. ଗୋଟେ downward sloping ହେଉଛି ମାନେ indirect relationship develop କରୁଛି. ଦେଖା ଯାଉଛି. But if you will go to any police station, suppose you will see they have used the statistical tools of bar diagram, bar chart. Okay.
yes, sir.
So they will say that a number of crimes and criminals, and they have captured. That means if a crime number of crimes are suppose 100 and the criminals they have captured is suppose 98. Another year number of crime is 90 and they have captured 89. So that means the information is revealing that the success rate of the police officers in a police station is very high because crime and the capturing of these culprits, the gap is very narrow. If every year this type of things will continue, then on another aspect, we can say that the number of crimes are declining over the years or rising over the years. It's a different issue.
Yes.
But the issue is that if there will be two bars here, adjacent bars, and as we know, bars width of the bars does not matter. Width does not matter. Only the height matters. So higher the height means it is the higher value, lower the height means lower value, and so on accordingly. Suppose I will say that the gap between the crimes and the criminals captured, if the gap is less, it indicates the efficiency of the police officers. So the police officers, they are efficient enough to capture the culprit, to arrest the culprit. ବୁଝିପାରୁଛୁ କି ନାହିଁ?
Yes, sir.
So if anybody can see the bar diagram, then easily he or she can understand that this police station is a very good police station because the crimes and the capturing of culprits, their gap is very less. ବହୁତ କମ ଲୋକ ଅଛନ୍ତି ଯୋଉମାନେ କ୍ରାଇମ କରି ଖସି ପଳେଇଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କୁ ଧରି ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି success rate is high. So if we collect information in a pen and paper in this, there will be a very large volume of papers, and from these papers you can't derive any conclusion regarding what are the findings you can derive. So in order to derive any conclusion, you have to analyze data. You have to put this data in proper format, either in a tabular form or in a graphical form. Then we'll have a conclusion. Or you can use some other tools. Statistical tools are there. Econometric tools are there. You can use also that to find any conclusion. ବୁଝି ହଉଛି ନା ବୁଝି ହଉନି? Hello.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So these are the very ମାନେ ମୁଁ ଯେମିତି ତମକୁ କହିଲି proper way ରେ କେମିତି research କରାଯାଏ ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ତ?
Okay, sir.
So there are I can go for another one. The another one is what are the approaches to social inquiry. ଆମେ ଯୋଉ study କରୁଛେ these are social studies. In social studies, it is different from that of the your science, natural science. In social studies, we know that and the social laws are not exact, are not universal. For example, if I will say that law of demand, suppose law of demand says that there is an interrelationship between price of a commodity and its quantity demanded, other things remaining unchanged or ceteris paribus. That means the other factors, non-price factors influencing demand remaining unchanged. There is an indirect relationship between price of a commodity and its quantity demanded. In other words, if price of a commodity will rise, other things remaining unchanged, price of a commodity will rise, its quantity demanded will fall. But my point is that this is the law of demand. Is it true for each and every commodity? Ritanjali,
Okay, sir.
is it true for each and every commodity?
No, sir.
What are the deviations? କୋଉ ଜାଗାରେ deviation କ'ଣ ହବ କାହିଁକି ହବନି ଯଦି law of demand କହୁଛ ଯେ it is a law, it operates, and if price of a commodity will rise, its quantity demand will fall, then why it will not operate on each and every commodity? And what are the exceptions? କୋଉ good ଗୁଡାକ ଅଛି ଯୋଉଥିରେ କି ଏଟା operate କରିବନି? କୁହ। ହ୍ୟାଲୋ
Okay, sir.
କହୁନ କହିପାରିବନି?
No, sir.
Sir,
The
question.
law of demand. Question is that suppose I am asking what are the exceptions? What are the exceptions of law of demand? Law of demand କୋଉ commodity କ୍ଷେତ୍ରରେ operate करे ନାହିଁ?
Sir, luxurious goods, sir.
Luxurious goods. How can you define it luxurious? There is again a very problematic. Which one is luxurious? Which one is not luxurious? A very difficult thing in economics.
Luxurious means jewelry.
Jewelry, luxury. तमे economics रे पढ़िथिबो luxury माने ताको define करा difficult. Okay.
Luxury means a comfort.
ସେଗୁଡା ତ ଆମର economics ରେ social science ରେ ସେଗୁଡା ସବୁ problem ହବ କଣ କି ତମେ କହିବ car is a necessary good for a doctor, for a busy doctor, but the same car is a luxury for a student.
Yes, sir.
ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ତ ଟେକ୍ନିକାଲ ପଏଣ୍ଟ ଟାକୁ ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ କି ନାହିଁ?
Okay.
ଯେ ୟୁଜ କରୁଛି ତା ଉପରେ ଡିପେଣ୍ଡ କରୁଛି whether it is luxury or necessary. So here there are commodities. I can say that suppose in case of suppose diamond, suppose gold ornaments, gold is a commodity, gold metal.
Okay.
Price of gold, when price of gold rises, its quantity demanded will fall, other things remaining unchanged will fall or rise.
Fall.
ସେଇଟା ତ ଏକ୍ସେପସନ ତମେ ନିଜେ କହୁଛୁ ଜୁଏଲାରୀ ପାଇଁ ଏକ୍ସେପସନ ପୁଣି ଗୋଲ୍ଡ ଟା ଜୁଏଲାରୀ ଯିବନି କି କଣ୍ଟ୍ରାଡିକ୍ଟ କାଇଁ କହୁଛୁ ତୁ ନିଜେ କହୁଛୁ ଯେ ମାନେ ଲକ୍ସରୀ କହିଲେ ଜୁଏଲାରୀ କୁ ବୁଝାଉଛି ଜୁଏଲାରୀ ଗୋଲ୍ଡ ଅର୍ନାମେଣ୍ଟସ ବା ଖାଲି ମୁଁ ଗୋଲ୍ଡ କହିବି ଗୋଲ୍ଡ କଏନ ତମେ କିଣିବ ଯଦି ଗୋଲ୍ଡ ର ପ୍ରାଇସ ଟା ବଢିବ ତାହେଲେ ଗୋଲ୍ଡ ର ଡିମାଣ୍ଡ ଟା କମିଯିବ ନା ବଢିଯିବ?
Sir, ବଢିବ.
ବଢିବ କମିବନି
Sir, but
ବଢିବ ନା କମିଯିବ?
ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କ କ୍ଷେତ୍ରରେ ହେଇପାରିବନି ନା।
कौन समस्त क्षेत्र में मु समस्त कथा पचरना आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द मार्केट डिमांड
ସାର୍
ସାର୍
ବଢିବ।
ବଢିବ।
if price of gold will rise what will happen to the market demand
ସାର୍ ପ୍ରାଇସ୍ ରାଇଜ୍ ହେଲେ
market
ଡିମାଣ୍ଡ
demand
କମିବ।
price rise kal the demand kamibo undoubtedly this is the law of demand other things obviously remaining unchanged non price factors influencing demand remaining unchanged सेटा को सबले कहउथबो because these are non price factors सेटा unchanged रही कि relationship to हमें एस्टैब्लिश करे जे जो लॉ अल्फ्रेड मार्शल जो लॉ एक्सप्लेन करूछन से सबले कहउछन अदर थिंग्स रिमेनिंग अनचेंज अदर थिंग्स मींस नॉन प्राइस फैक्टर्स बिकॉज़ डिमांड फॉर a commodity is influenced or affected by a large number of factors including price so this can be divided into price and another is non-price factors so non-price factors remaining unchanged there will be an indirect relationship ताମାନେ दर बढ़िले डिमांड कमी जिवो तमे कोन कहउ चाहू जदि गोल्ड ऑर्नामेंट्स बा गोल्ड कॉइन रो दाम बढ़ी गला ताले गोल्ड कॉइन बा गोल्ड ऑर्नामेंट्स रो डिमांड कमी जिवो
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଆଜ୍ଞା
कमिबो नाही
ସାର୍ ଏଇଟା ଲକ୍ଜରିୟସ୍ ଗୁଡ୍ ରେ ଯାଉଛି ନା ତାହେଲେ ସାର୍ ଏଇଟା ବଢିବ ଡିମାଣ୍ଡ।
डिमांड तमे कुह मते कुह जे गोल्ड जदि
ହଁ
तुमको
ସାର୍ ज्वेलरी ଇଏରେ ସାର୍
तमे ज्वेलरी जो पिंदुछ कोन पे पिंदु रे छुआ माने
ଆଜ୍ଞା
whenever people are wearing jewelries what is the very purpose of wearing jewelry
ସାର୍ ଲକ୍ଜରୀ।
ଲକ୍ଜରୀ नो ताମାନେ जे तार ଗୋଟେ डेमोन्स्ट्रेटिव इफेक्ट अछि
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ତମେ ତମକୁ ଯଦି କେହି ଲୋକ ନ ଦେଖିଲେ ନ ପଚାରିଲେ ତମେ ଯଦି ଲୋକ ନ ପଚାରି ସେ ଗୋଟେ ମାନେ ନେକଲେସ ଟେ ପିନ୍ଧିଛି ଯାହାର କଷ୍ଟ ହଉଛି 1 crore ଏ ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ ଦେଖିବା ଛଡା ତୋର କଣ କାମ ଅଛି କି ତାକୁ କଣ ତମେ ନେଇକି କଣ ୟୁଜ କରିବ ତାର ଗୋଲ୍ଡ ରେ
nothing so
ତାମାନେ it will the possession of such commodities will raise your social status
yes sir
ତମ ପାଖରେ ଯଦି ଗୋଲ୍ଡ ରହିଲା ମନେକର 1 kg ର ଗୋଲ୍ଡ ବା ଗୋଲ୍ଡ ornament ରହିବ then you will have a very enhanced social status you will feel proud of ମୋ ପାଖରେ 1 kg ଗୋଲ୍ଡ ଅଛି because others will appreciate you others will be अरे 1 kg jewelry ଅଛି that means your social status will rise this is the benefit what you are deriving out of that ନହେଲେ ତାକୁ କଣ ତମେ ଖାଇବ ନା କଣ କରିବ ତାକୁ ତାର ତ କିଛି ଯଦି ତାର ଦାମ ବହୁତ କମିଯିବ ତମେ ତାକୁ ଆଣି କଣ କରିବ ତାକୁ ଯଦି ସେମିତି ହଉଥାନ୍ତା ତାହେଲେ ତ ମାନେ ଯୋଉ ଆମର ରୂପାର ଡିମାଣ୍ଡ ଟା ବହୁତ ହେଇଯାନ୍ତା କାରଣ ରୂପାର କମ ରେଟ୍ ଅଛି
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ରୂପାକୁ କାହିଁକି ପଚାରୁନାହାନ୍ତି ରୂପାଟା ଗୋଟେ ସୋସିଆଲ ଷ୍ଟାଟସ କୁ ବିୟର କରୁନି ସୋସିଆଲ ଷ୍ଟାଟସ କୁ କ୍ୟାରି କରୁନି ରୂପା ଯଦି ତମ ପାଖରେ ଅଛି ତମେ ବୁଝା ପଡିବ ଯେ ତମେ ଗୋଟେ ପୋର ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡାର୍ଡ ର ତମ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ଟା ଗୋଟେ ପୋର ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡାର୍ଡ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ସତ କଥା ନୁହେଁ କି
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ତେଣୁ ଏବେ ବୁଝିଗଲା ତ ମୋ କହିବାର ପର୍ପୋସ କଣ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ମୁଁ ଯୋଉ କଥା କହିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲି ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ ରେ ତମେ ଗୋଟେ ଲ କଥା କହିଲ ସେଟା କିଛି କମୋଡିଟି ପାଇଁ ଆପ୍ଲିକେବଲ ହଉଛି କିଛି କମୋଡିଟି ପାଇଁ ଆପ୍ଲିକେବଲ ହଉନି କିନ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ ଯଦି କହିବି there is gravity in the law of gravitation କଣ କହୁଛି when apple falls it falls to the earth because of gravitational force
yes
it happens in India it happens in United Kingdom it happens everywhere all of the world on the surface of the earth in the whole world you will find if anything falls it falls to the earth because gravitational force attracts those things towards earth these are called natural laws these laws are universal କିନ୍ତୁ ଆମର ଇକୋନୋମିକ୍ସ ର ଲଜ ଗୁଡାକ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସାଲ ନୁହେଁ ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ତ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଆମେ ଯୋଉ there are approaches different approaches broadly two types of approaches are used for conducting social science research One is called quantitative, other one is called qualitative. So the study is conducted within the framework of this positivism or realism or post-positivism. Generally, research to this quantitative approach. These are called quantitative research. Quantitative research integrates the purposes and procedures that are deductive, objective, and generalized. That means you can have a conclusion. That means you can draw a conclusion out of it. You can have a tabular presentation, you have a graphical presentation, you'll collect information, then you have a graphical presentation, then you can draw a conclusion. It is a generalization. So this is about the quantitative research. Usually emphasis is laid on the construction of general theories which are applied universally. Well-controlled procedures and with large number of cases are followed in conducting study, because if you study a less number of cases, then the result may be misleading. ତମେ ମନେକର 10 ଜଣ ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ ପଚାରିବ ଯେ ଏଥର ଇଲେକ୍ସନ ରେ କିଏ ଜିତିବ, 10 ଜଣରୁ ମନେକର 6 ଜଣ କି 7 ଜଣ କହିଲେ ଯେ ହଁ ଇଏ ଗୋଟେ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ ପାର୍ଟି ଜିତିବ, ତାହେଲେ କଣ ସେ ଜିତିବ? Sample should be very large. Sample should be very large. Otherwise, your conclusion will be misleading. Misleading conclusion both is na.
Okay.
Then studies which are conducted within the perspective of a critical theory, or we can say it is a qualitative research. That means by using this induction, that means in that case, in this quantitative research, there was a deduction. That means you have to deduct. Hello.
Okay, sir.
Qualitative or quantitative with a difference come. Fundamental difference come. Quantitative research is deductive in nature.
Okay, sir.
ତମେ କଣ କରୁଛ? ତମେ ଏଠି କଣ ଆମେ ୟୁଜୁଆଲି ଦିଟା କଥା କହୁ, କିଛି ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ ପଚାରୁ ନୁହେଁ କି, ପଚାରିକୁ ଗୋଟେ କନକ୍ଲୁଜନ ରେ ପହଞ୍ଚି ଯାଉ,
Okay.
ନୁହେଁ କି?
Okay.
କିନ୍ତୁ ବେଳେ ବେଳେ ଆମେ ଉଲ୍ଟା କରୁ, by using induction as a research strategy. Qualitative research creates the theory and discovery through flexible emergent research designs. That means qualitative research consists of purposes and procedures that integrate inductive, subjective, and contextual approaches. Based on this above outline, on the type of research, we may say that there are two basic approaches of research. One is quantitative, other one is qualitative. In case of qualitative, what happens? Qualitative रे ମଧ୍ୟ ଆମେ जोठी ଆମେ information किछि collection करि परिबानी, numerical information collection करि हुए नाही, बुझिले?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
सेठी को ଆମେ कोन करिबा? सेठी ଆମେ किमती स्टडी करिबा, लोकंकर एटीट्यूड्स, ओपिनियंस, सेठी तमे कलेक्ट कोन किमती करिवो? Qualitative approach deal with the subjective assessment of attitudes. ଗୋଟେ ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ specific numerology ରେ ତମେ express କରି परिबो नाही. Opinions or the behavior of respondents. Results are generated either on a non-quantitative form or in the form of which are subjected to relatively less rigorous quantitative treatment. ଆମେ ତାକୁ ସେଇ ଭଳିଆ ଗୋଟେ କିଛି କରିକି ଆମେ ତାକୁ assess करो. ये दिटा भितर डिफरेंशिएट हम करि परिबा यूजुअली द क्वालिटेटिव अप्रोच कोन, क्वांटिटेटिव अप्रोच कोन. इन केस ऑफ डेटा कलेक्शन, क्वालिटेटिव रे हम कोन करू? पार्टिसिपेंट ऑब्जर्वेशन, सेमी स्ट्रक्चर इंटरव्यू, ग्रुप डिस्कशन. These are the ways by which we collect information.
Okay.
You go for the group discussion. Okay, but in case of quantitative approach, there will be laboratory observation, there will be questionnaire, you will collect information, there will be the structure interview. Interview means one-to-one interview. Suppose you will go to a person, you will collect information by asking him, ଆମ ଘରକୁ ସବୁ ଆସୁନାହାନ୍ତି ଯୋଉ ସେନ୍ସସ୍ ରିପୋର୍ଟ, ସେନ୍ସସ୍ ର ଯୋଉ ଇନଫର୍ମେସନ ନବା ପାଇଁ,
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଏ ଯୋଉ ଜନଗଣନା ହୁଏନି, ଜନଗଣନା ପାଇଁ ଆମ ଘରକୁ ସେମାନେ ଆସନ୍ତି, ଆମେ ବସଉ ତାଙ୍କୁ,
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ବସୁ, ସେମାନେ ପଚାରନ୍ତି ଆପଣଙ୍କ ନାଁ କଣ, କେତେ ବର୍ଷ, ଆପଣଙ୍କର କେତେ ଜଣ ପିଲା ଅଛନ୍ତି, ପୁଅ କେତେ, ଝିଅ କେତେ, ପୁଅ ମାନଙ୍କର ବୟସ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
କେତେ, ଝିଅ ମାନଙ୍କର ବୟସ କେତେ, ସବୁ ନାଁ ଲେଖିକି ନିଅନ୍ତିନି,
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ପୁଅମାନଙ୍କର କ୍ୱାଲିଫିକେସନ କେତେ, କେତେ ସବୁ ବହୁତ ଗୋଟେ ଇନଫର୍ମେସନ ସେମାନେ ନିଅନ୍ତି ସେନ୍ସସରେ, ତାକୁ ଫ୍ୟୁଚର ପାଇଁ ଲାଗେ, ପୁଣି 10 years ପାଇଁ ରହେ। ତ ଏଇଟା ହେଲା ଏ ଯୋଉ କ୍ୱାଲିଟେଟିଭ ଆଉ କ୍ୱାଣ୍ଟିଟେଟିଭ ଭିତରେ ଏଟା ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ। ଆଚ୍ଛା, କ୍ୱାଲିଟେଟିଭ ଭିତରେ ଆମେ ଯଦି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ ତିଆରି କରିବା, ମନେକର ଦ ଫର୍ମୁଲେସନ ଅଫ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ୍ସ ଇଜ ଦ କ୍ରାଇଟେରିଆ, ଏବଂ ହାଉ କ୍ୟାନ୍ वी आंसर गेट द आंसर। In case of qualitative approach, open questions are there. Questions and answers are exchanged in two-way communication between researcher and respondent. But in case of this quantitative information, quantitative approach, there will be closed questions. Closed question means the answer will be yes or no, or you have to specific answer. How many children you have? 10. कि 10 कहबो, कि 2 कहबो, कि 0 कहबो, कि 1 कहबो. There is a number, you will get a number. बुझिपारछ कि ओपन और क्लोज बुझिपारछ त नहीं.
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଆଜ୍ଞା
Then selection of respondents, character जदि हुए selection of respondent तमे कौन कहली जो माने क्वालिटेटिव रे information maximization guides the selection of respondent. Every respondent may be unique की person. तमे कहा को रेस्पोंड माने कहा को तमे सिलेक्शन करिवो, तमे तो बहुत रे लोक अछन, केते को लोक को बेसिस रे सिलेक्शन करिवो. तमे information maximization this guides the selection of the respondent. तामाने एठी सब लोक अलग अलग ओपिनियन दे पारंती, एका ओपिनियन दे बोली किसी गारंटी नहीं. ओके, एठी कोन, एठी इन केस ऑफ क्वांटिटेटिव रे कोन हबो, रिप्रेजेंटेटिवनेस एज द प्रोपोर्शन ऑफ पॉपुलेशन. That means random sample selection of sample size according to the assumption about the distribution in population. You can have the sample. तमे यदि भात हांडी रो गोटे चामच रे नेकी देखि दे कहि देछ भात हे गलानी बोली, obviously this is a quantitative. बुझिपारछ.
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଆଜ୍ଞା sir।
Then timing analysis, parallel with data collection. Timing टा कोन, data collection सहित सेटा parallel चलला, सीट तो सब क्वेश्चनर हबो, सीट डिस्कशन हबो, सीट तो तमर ग्रुप डिस्कशन सीट होतुम ना. अरे तमे ये जो ये जिंस तमे केमि जानिबो, मु मनकर कहबी पॉपुलैरिटी ऑफ लीडर केमि तमे जानिबो के पॉपुलर अछि, तमे लोक को जाय कि ग्रुप डिस्कशन करेबो, किए भलो कहूची किए खराब कहूची, ग्रुप हेकी तांके भीतर सब कहबे ना,
ଆଜ୍ଞା
जे भलो कहबे खराब कहबे, जे खराब कहबे ताको अन्य माने काउंटर करबे. तमे कोन कहबो चाहछो, तुम जस्टिफाई करो. जन विरुद्ध कहले अन्य माने ताको ई करे, तांके भीतर ऑलरेडी जिस तमे सही जगह रे तमे पाई जेबो. किंतु in case of quantitative method पटुले पे तुमको
ଆଜ୍ଞା
प्रथमे डेटा कलेक्शन करिया पड़ियो ना.
ଆଜ୍ଞା
आफ्टर डेटा कलेक्शन
ଆଜ୍ଞା
तापर तमे तमरो ताकू प्रेजेंटेशन करिवो, प्रेजेंटेशन करिवि तम एनालिसिस करिवो, देन द प्रोसेस विल टेक प्लेस. Then the application of standard methods of analysis. This is a descriptive method of analysis use, mixed methods are also used. Mixed method ଗୋଟେ method ଅଛି जोटे कि आमे कहबा both qualitative and quantitative. Usually आमे कोन करू, जदि क्वालिटेटिव रे बेले बेले क्वांटिटेटिव यूज करे पड़े, टिके टिके यूज न कले तमे ताको कंक्लूजन रे पहुंच परिबन.
ଆଜ୍ଞା
नगरे तमे ताको क्वांटिटेटिव टिके टिके आसे पड़िबो, तेरको हम मिक्स्ड कहबा. किंतु आमे जो क्वांटिटेटिव मेथड रे स्टैंडर्ड स्टैटिस्टिकल मेथड सब अछि तमरो, जो टेस्ट पकू साधारणतः टी टेस्ट पड़िबो, जेड टेस्ट पड़िबो, नले एफ टेस्ट पड़िबो, काई स्क्वायर पड़िबो, ये सब मेथड सब अछि तरे के हमें रिजल्ट बाहर करिया पे. Then role of theories in the analysis. Existing theories are typically used only as a point of departure from the analysis. Theories are further developed by forming new concepts and relations. The context of new concepts are studied and illustrated. Practical application of theory is illustrated by cases. Existing theories are typically used only as a point of departure from the analysis. यदि कोटी डिपार्चर हो जाउची डिस्कशन बेले को पॉइंट टू डेविएट कर जाउची से समय हमें कोटी किसी कोई बरे देश रे ଗୋଟେ प्रेसिडेंट लाया हैतला साधारणतः जो प्रेसिडेंट जो मनगर मु कोई डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प जो गले से चार्ज टू हैंडओवर करी जीवा कथा थला जदि डिस्कशन केतरा हुए का विरुद्ध रे बाइडेन और ट्रम्प को विषय रे डिस्कशन हुए से ऑफिशियली तांको हैंडओवर करी जीवार थला से रूल कहूची हैंडओवर करी जीवार थला रूल न हले भी देयर इज ए प्रेसिडेंट प्रथा था तमे सेमती से हवा कथा सेमती से चार्ज हैंडओवर करी जीवार थला तमे सेठी डेविएट होउचन से चार्ज हैंडओवर करी जाउना डिस्कशन भितर आमे सी गुडा को मझरे मझरे गुडे टाइम रे नै आसपारु किंतु एठी गुडा को जो हबो एडा सु ए प्रायोरी डिडक्टेड थ्योरीज आर ऑपरेशनलाइज्ड and tested on data. The process of analysis is basically deductive in nature. Deductive माने बहुत उड़ा ग्रुप गुटे पार्ट रे पहुंचबो ओके मुसरा जो कोथल तमको
ओके
डिडक्टिव पार्ट जोटा
सर कंट्रीब्यूट
आ कोन बुझिबो कोन त मतो बहुत उड़ा अछि एगुडा को आगु किछ डाउट अछि के आगु सुन ता भीतर तो पछु गले से जो अछि कोन कोन द फिलोसफी अछि माने हाइपोथेसिस एंड इट्स टाइप्स एंड सोर्सेस आम हाइपोथेसिस बेले बेले फ्रेम करू इकोनॉमिक्स रे हाइपोथेसिस कोन माने करो मु गुटे हाइपोथेसिस फ्रेम करिवे मु हाइपोथेसिस माने दिस आर फ्रेम फॉर इट्स पॉसिबल रिजेक्शन और एक्सेप्टेंस मु गुटे स्टेटमेंट नेबी जोटा कि मु ताको टेस्टेड करेबी टेस्टेड हो माने मु कहबी जे ओडिसा लोक माने बहुत लेजी लोक कि बहुत एक्टिव लोक उल्टा जिंति कहले हबो बहुत हार्ड वर्किंग लोक ओडिसा लोक माने बहुत हार्ड वर्किंग लोक तो एटा हला मोर हाइपोथेसिस एवं यदि मु एटा को क्लासिफाई करबी दिस माय नल हाइपोथेसिस तले मु पुनी मोर जो माने जो रिसर्च करबी तार टूल्स ने कि मु इंफॉर्मेशन कलेक्शन करबी देखबी जे नो I will have to reject the hypothesis because the people of Odisha are not hard working. Suppose I am not giving an example of just for the sake of example, it is it should not hurt the sentiments of any कार मु sentiment को hurt करे उद्देश्य रे कहूनी ଗୋଟେ example नबाकू चाहूची example sense रे कहू suppose I will or you can talk in reverse way suppose are not hard working and you will collected information and found that yes people of Odisha are hard working so we have to reject the null hypothesis जहा फाइंडिंग्स हला यदि मोर प्रथम स्टेटमेंट जहा मु नेइतले यदि सेटा को कंट्राडिक्ट कला थाला आई हैव टू रिजेक्ट द नल हाइपोथेसिस एंड से दैट द अल्टरनेट हाइपोथेसिस इज करेक्ट हाइपोथेसिस फ्रेम करा जाय स्टैटिस्टिक्स में जो इकोनॉमिक्स में जो टेस्ट करू जेतरा में डिडक्टिव अप्रोच रे थ्योरी थाए त हाइपोथेसिस थाए ऑब्जर्वेशन कंफर्मेशन ये प्रोसेस रासे
ओके
इंडक्टिव रे सिमदी ऑब्जर्वेशन था त पैटर्न था तबरे टेंटेटिव हाइपोथेसिस फॉर्मेशन देन यू विल हैव अ थ्योरी एटा सब देखो टिके टाइम ये जो टाइम सीरीज डाटा क्रॉस सेक्शन डाटा पूल डाटा साधारणतः टाइम सीरीज डाटा रे हमरो माने टाइम इज मेजर्ड अलोंग वन एक्सिस एंड अदर वेरिएबल्स आर मेजर्ड अलोंग द अदर एक्सिस यूजुअली along the horizontal axis time is the independent variable and other variables are measured along the vertical axis it is a time series data को data may be of three types time series out a cross section out a pooled cross section रे कौन हो at a the same point of time at the same point of time you may have one or more variable okay तो मनकर कहबो जे मनकर मु कहबी 1986 रे एतिकी पिला फर्स्ट क्लास पाइले एतिकी पिला सेकंड क्लास पाइले एतिकी थर्ड क्लास पाइले ये दी तीनटा पैरामीटर मोर होची गोटे ईयर रे किंतु मु जदी कहबी 1986 रे मनकर पाइले 10 जन फर्स्ट क्लास पुनी 88 रे पाइले ती फर्स्ट क्लास पुनी 89 एटा को हम कहबा टाइम सीरीज बुझी पड़तन नहीं
Okay.
अच्छा पूल डाटा को
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍
both elements of both time series और cross section दीटा को जदी क्लब कर दिया जीवो then we will have a pool data. Suppose I will say that over a period of time, suppose from 2000 to 2000, suppose 13, we have data on saving, investment, GDP across Indian states. तामने एठी time भी रहूची एवं across Indian states means all the states are also on the one side, another side you will have data regarding savings, regarding investment, regarding gross domestic product and so on. So in a particular year, you will have saving, investment, GDP, and like this.
Okay.
Also in different states. And also you will have from 2000 to 2013, you will have information regarding savings, regarding investment, regarding GDP, and etc. So these are called pool data.
Okay.
Usually primary data are collected directly from the source, and secondary data are collected from, usually there are government agencies are there. You can collect information. There is one agency which is called Central Statistical Organization, CSO. You can collect information from CSO. You can collect information from National Sample Server Organization, NSSO. You can also collect information from Reserve Bank of India relating to our monetary informations and data relating to banking sector and etc. And also you can also internationally, you can collect information from International Monetary Fund. You can collect information from World Bank, IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, is otherwise known as World Bank. So these are the various sources of data by which an investigator can collect. Then there are scales. Actually, there are various scales are there. One is called this nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, ratio scale. Suppose nominal scale. ये सब मतलब ये सब तुम्हें पढ़ी ले जानी पड़ियो. पढ़ी चो ये पढ़ी की जानी चो ना जाननो.
Sir.
ନାଇଁ
No, sir.
એટલે પઢીલે સિના ડાઉટ ଆସିବ ન પଢିଲେ କେନ୍ ଡାଉଟ୍ ଆସିବ
Okay.
ତମେ ଏଟା ପଢ ହେଲା
Okay.
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ହଉ ତାହେଲେ ରଖିବା ଆଜି
Okay, sir.
ହଉ